What up, world? It's your boy Jaystar here today with the full strategy of the week 5. Man, we about to get into this one, man. On my birthday, October 7th, baby. Let's do this, man. So had to come on here, man, and get this done for y'all real quick as possible that I can get through this slate. I'm thinking, how we always do this. Like, I'm gonna give y'all the injury reports. That way we can help out, who could probably have a huge fantasy day because of cornerbacks or things like that, linebackers being out for running backs, stuff like that. And then we're just gonna go through everything, and then at the end I'm gonna try to do something different and give y'all the best stacks, like the 3 best stacks of the the whole slate. So we're gonna get right into this real quick. So we got Chargers here. Like, let me make sure this is the right first game. Let's make sure that ain't the right first game, is it? Oh, it is? Okay. We got the Chargers and Cleveland. Okay. So let me go through my notes here. I got what I got here. Okay, so in this game here, it looks like Herbert definitely is big in play because Cleveland has been giving up the pass. Definitely in play for one receiver at least to be able to get off big. I thought it was an injury to report here, but I guess only just like Keelan Allen being out, I guess, for receiver wise. But we know how the Cleveland's been giving up these big deep passes and stuff like that in games. So definitely expect some deep shots to be taken to Mike Williams in this game. So could see another big, huge game again, like a 22 fantasy point game, another 100 yards, but maybe this time it's a touchdown involved. So maybe he gets to maybe near 30 points fantasy. So I would definitely stack up, Herbert with Mike Williams. I'm trying to think if Joshua Palmer is going to be okay though, because I see ankle injury there and questionable. Man, if he's end up not playing, then yeah, it's going to be even heavily targeted to Mike Williams for sure. Also, man, Iowa Guyton is even out too. Yeah, so man, their biggest deep threat is gonna be Mike Williams. So I definitely would have to say Mike Williams is probably in for a huge targeted game, man. Like, could be even pushing near 14, 15 series in this game because he should have an advantage here. I thought Denzel Ward was like questionable, but looks like I guess he is gonna play in this game. But on the other side of this game, I don't think I see much like Brissett. I mean, if anything, we know Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is definitely in for a huge fantasy point game just because of the fact that Chargers give up big runs. The only thing I will say though, real quick, is that yeah, they give up big runs, like breakout runs, like these 30s and 40-yard runs, and I do see that happen for Chubb. The only thing I hate about when Chubb does that, like we look at that first game when he broke big runs, he got tired when he got to the, when they stopped him before he got to the goal line, and then calls for what do I want to say, Kareem Hunt to sneak in and steal the touchdown, at least one time, and then he also stole the second one in the pass. So it is kind of scary thinking about that because I'm like, man, it could be, also just Hunt. The way he runs, he has that explosive ability too to break big long runs too as well. And it's just crazy to think that, he only run like 11, 13, 12, 10 times. I can still see him breaking one of them big runs and it be him instead of Chubb. So just want to kind of throw that out there, man, because it's a lot of running back dilemmas and stuff going on. It's gonna be hard trying to pick these running backs right because it could go the other way. Like paying $8,000 for Chubb. We know what he could do is just the fact that it's $2,000 less for Kareem Hunt. And all I want to say is because I'm only mentioning this because of the fact he's running the same amount of times that Damian Pierce ran 14 times last week on them and had 130 yards. So if Kareem Hunt gets 13 rushes, ooh, man, we could see 100 something yards for Kareem Hunt and a touchdown. It could be him instead. That's all I got to say. But yeah, those are the 2 biggest what I want to say, weapons here that I see putting up big fantasy points. The rest are like, I don't even want to mess with them. Like about 3 people since it's Chubb, and like I said, Hunt could take it instead, but then Mike Williams for sure on that side of that game. But we're gonna keep it moving here. We got Pittsburgh and Buffalo here. Josh Allen and Pickett. This is actually the fastest paced game of the slate, y'all. So I know it's a ugly side for Pickett side or everything, but I actually like this game for Pickett. Just to tell y'all, like I'm just gonna tell you, like I don't know, it's just a feeling inside of me. I just feel that Buffalo could sleep on Pittsburgh a little bit, or just they can get up so big that they kind of just start lacking on defense at the end of the game. And I just feel like Pickett I just think he got it, man. I told you I've been waiting for this boy to play anyways, and it's not like I'm a fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers or anything. I just saw in the preseason that this boy can throw the ball. Like, he really can throw the ball. These 3 picks here, just so y'all know, if y'all go back and look at them, man, is not like them regular rookie picks where they just they threw it right to the the cornerbacks and stuff like that. And I do know this was the Jets, so like yeah, definitely this is the Buffalo Bills we talking about. But the Buffalo Bills do have two cornerbacks out wide that are rookies. So and to me they just really haven't even been really tested. That's just plain to see. Like I can go through real quick about like who Buffalo has played against the Rams here. The slot, they got tested in the slot. Like those two rookies on the outside and stuff like that weren't being tested by Cup really. You know what I mean? Like Cup plays in the slot most of the time, so they didn't even get tested here. Tennessee, they don't even throw. Miami, that was the first time we got tested here, and we got to see, I think, a little bit Tyreek Hill, and like it was kind of low scoring for both of them, but I think Waddle had about 18 points fantasy. Baltimore here, they don't even have the weapons really to be testing them the way, like Lamar is not throwing the ball like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that, Rashad Bateman is nice, but still yet to be proven to see how really nice he could be. And most of the time with Baltimore, they're throwing to their tight end or running the ball. So I'm just saying, like, they haven't been really tested. I could actually see Pickett coming out and scoring on the first drive. Just because like these three right here, the missed attempts that went to interceptions, one was right into the Claypool's hands, and it popped out and went right into the cornerback's hands or whatever. It went right. I mean, a target was on point, man. Then the second one I want to say was right into the hands of the receiver, and it popped off of his hands and went into another cornerback's hands after that, but right into the hands of the receiver again. And then the last one was a Hail Mary at the end of the game, a desperate Hail Mary, and it just went into the cornerback's hands instead of the receiver. Like, that was the 3 interceptions, y'all. So just want to say that because, I mean, he's cheap, and I know nobody's going to take him or anything, but if you're thinking he's getting blown out, even 60 to whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, 60 to 21, that could mean that he threw 3 touchdowns still in a garbage, time or type of way or something like that. And my only thing is, like, he has weapons. Like, he literally has really good weapons. Deontay Johnson, Claypool, Pickens, you know what I'm saying? Like, he has a lot of good, talented receivers here, and this is going to be the first time where I feel like they have a real quarterback that can actually throw the ball straight to them and not overthrow them out of bounds and things like that, like Trubisky was doing. So I feel like they're going to get up for this game and really play hard. That's all I got to say. Like, even if they're getting blown out, they're never going to give up, is how I feel, because Pittsburgh is one of them teams where they kind of play backyard football. So they're going to compete with you for sure. And then not only that, he has a really good tight end too, as well as Freiermuth, and he comes through and catches almost everything thrown his way. So I just got to say that real quick because I feel like, Pickett could have a really good game. This is the fastest paced game. So, like, when I say that, you talking about multiple opportunities for Josh Allen. So definitely Josh Allen is big in play in this game. Like, by far. Like, I love Josh Allen for this game. But I'm just saying this is also could be a full stackable game where you can pick Josh Allen, 2 of his receivers or whatever, especially since Dawson Knox is out. And then I know you can also just say the defense and the running back and Singletary. That it's like 2 ways this could go. Like, it could be the defense getting all the picks, could happen because it's a rookie. So I understand, like, if you want to take the defense and roll with Singletary as a run back too with that. I mean, not a run back, but another play with that, double stacking that too. But if not, this is the fastest paced game. So Josh Allen could go for 50, y'all. Like, serious. He get the ball back over and over against Pickett. You talking about 50 points fantasy there and possible 50 points for Diggs. So just want to say that, but a run back could easily be involved because Pickett is actually a good quarterback to throw the ball with those good receivers that he has. So definitely I think that's a good game to stack. And then we got the Houston-Jacksonville game here. Trevor Lawrence did a good game because of the fact that his run game should work no matter. The only thing is, like, there are 2 different running backs here, but we do know James Robinson is taking a bulk load of the carries most of the time, at least these 2 games right here. We get that again, and definitely he's going to go off. Either way, I just feel like the run should work easily against Houston, which is going to set up the big plays for, like, Christian Kirk, since we know he goes deep down the field for all these deep long shot plays right here. And is also looked at for the red zone. He has 3 touchdowns already. Could definitely see him getting about 9 targets in this game, going for a nice little 20 to 25 fantasy points here easily. So if I was to stack, a 1-2-3 stack, Trevor Lawrence with James Robinson and Kirk, sounds pretty good to me. Davis Mills, he is out a target right here at Chris Moore. So a run back could be obvious right here with Brandon Cooks, could have a really good game. I don't see how he doesn't go to 12 or plus targets in this game, period. Like, now they probably will move him into the slot where Chris Moore is at. I just feel like he's their best route running receiver, and he could exploit Jacksonville's defense that way. If you move him into the slot, get him open there, get him more targets in that way, and then move him out, things like that. I could see him being a really good run back. Could go for like 25 fantasy as a run back. So if you want to fully stack this game, I don't mind it. See a lot of fantasy points coming out of that. Then we got Chicago and Minnesota here. Let me see. Is there injuries here to talk about? Because I think this was one of the injuries game. Yes, it is. So a big injury here for Chicago is out. Their what do I want to say? Left side cornerback and Jalen Johnson, best cornerback they have on a team. That would be sticking Jefferson is going to be out. And so now I don't know who is going to be lined up with Jefferson, but Jefferson's in for a big game because without Jalen Johnson, I don't really see him stopping him. So it's just really going to depend on how many targets is Jefferson going to get. I want to say, can they set up the run, a little bit so that because they're going to double Jefferson, I'm sure, the whole game now. But when he does get a one-on-one matchup, or man, it's just gonna be crazy, man. Like what he can do now that Jalen Johnson is out is scary. It could be another game what we just saw right here with 34 fantasy points for him. This is why he cost so much because I know they got to notice. But if he gets a touchdown, then we're looking at maybe 40 possible fantasy points from Jefferson in this game, y'all. So just want to mention that because with that injury being, being that their best cornerback is out, that's going to be crazy. Fields is going to be in for, I expect him. He finally, got into the 20s in attempts, man. Finally got in 20s in attempts. And I thought, was that why Mooney did well, I think, this game? Let me see. Did he do well? Yeah, that was why he finally did well. Like I keep telling y'all, 17 attempts just not going to get it done, as y'all saw. Like, finally he gets in the 20s, and look what we get. 13 fantasy points. Almost 100 yards, though. Like, they're going to need him to throw 20-something times in this game because I don't see them keeping up with Minnesota without it. So, if you wanted to stack this game, you can. I really wouldn't do no really run back. I just don't have faith in Fields really probably throwing that much. If he gets his running back and Montgomery back, that could help him a little bit, I would say. But he needs to be able to establish the pass in this game to be able to compete with Minnesota. And I just don't know where is he if he even is going to pass the ball, enough. So, but I do know Cousins and Jefferson is definitely in play for a big game together, at least. Let me keep it moving though. Here we got Detroit and New England. And we got Jared Goff here once again. Mac Jones is probably out. They're going with I believe is a rookie in Zap. It really sucks because I feel like Mac Jones would have played. This probably would have been a better game, to pick Mac Jones maybe in the stacks. But all these people being out for Goff and everybody else is just injured, man. It's just crazy. Like everybody. Hockenson is at least good to go now for sure. Could be another Hockenson game, man. Like New England is pretty bad against tight ends. So we already saw what Goff and Hockenson was able to do last week. Kind of did call that one. I just really felt that, that was the best play for him. They always... without St. Brown, Hockenson is the number one receiver, like serious. So he was the number one receiver before St. Brown. So it was kind of obvious call to me. But I definitely know he's probably going to go back to him. But if St. Brown is there, that will help him a lot too. So if you want to roll a golf stack, you can. I don't really mind it. Maybe a double stack St. Brown if he's able to go with Hockenson, because we know that's where he's going to throw the ball to. But if somehow Goff does struggle, just so y'all know, the Detroit Lions aren't good on the road. Just so you know, like statistically, they go from about 70 or 80% that they are at home and scoring in the red zone and opportunities and stuff like that. When they're at home, they score like 80% of the time or something like that, to about 42% y'all on the road. And as y'all know, they have played every game is in a dome so far. They've been at home in a dome, which was right up the street, y'all. So they always play Minnesota really well because the travel is not far. It's like really playing at home again, and it's in a dome. So and then they play Seattle back at home in a dome. They always play good at home in the dome, just so y'all know. Like they score a lot, all that things. And I know they play fast, so it's always going to be multiple opportunities for Goff to try to score. But if he goes to 42% or something like that, we could be looking more at multiple opportunities for New England to score, which since if they're going to be rolling out with a rookie, I just feel like the running backs are big in play here. And I really don't like, I know I've been hearing other people talking about the running backs and how it's going to be hard to pick both of these running backs or whatever. I kind of feel like the way Detroit plays, how fast they play, and knowing that New England's probably not going to be trying to compete with them, like airing it out the whole game and stuff like that. That's just not how Belichick rolls. I haven't remembered too many games, of shootouts with Belichick coaching. I know when Brady was there, it was different, but I mean with Mac Jones, what I'm saying. And knowing that he's going to have a rookie, he's going to just lean on the run game to slow down Detroit's offensive game. If they can get Detroit going 3 and out a few times and getting multiple opportunities for these running backs, I feel like definitely like both of these running backs could end up with 20-something fantasy. Like, because of the multiple opportunities they both will have to score, to run the ball, to catch the ball with Ramondre Stevenson, they're going to go to these running backs. They're going to lean on them heavily. So I just feel like you probably won't even be wrong on either one. That's all I'm trying to say. So don't feel bad if you take either one, because I really feel like they're going to have multiple opportunities to score, and they probably both are going to score at least one touchdown and probably be at about 20 fantasy points each. So that's just how I feel about that. Receiver wise, man, I don't really know. I can't really say. Like, it sucks with Zach. We saw him throw one touchdown to Parker, but that was supposed to be a delay of game call, so it could have been taken back. But I don't really see him passing as much. If I had to take anybody, it would be Hunter Henry, since Johnny was going to be out. I would think Hunter Henry could do good, since Detroit is bad against tight ends. 2,900. I don't mind going there for a nice fantasy point, a nice value play there. Let's keep it moving. No, now we got Seattle and New Orleans here. No, Michael Thomas is out, and Jarvis is questionable, but looks like he's probably going to give it a go and play. I was so big on Ingram at the beginning, but now I'm hearing that Kamara is supposed to be ready to go. I'm just going to say this real quick. I feel like Kamara is Eckler of last week. Like, I also called in my value last week Rashad Penny against Detroit, and like, I felt like Ingram was Rashad Penny this week, but now it's like Kamara looks like he's saying he's ready to go. We'll see for sure, but I really feel like he's in that spot, man. Like, just like Eckler, like, if he got 15 touches in this game, he could kill it. Like, they didn't have him in the last game in London, and I feel like Andy Dalton needed, Kamara in that game bad. Like, he needed some type of run game, and he didn't have it, so they kind of knew he was going to be airing it out, and it made him make mistakes. But if they can get Kamara and establish the run here, establish those little screen plays for him, Kamara could have a huge game, y'all. And I'm actually scared of this, because I'm like 6,600. I was passing by him like left and right every time I was scrolling to pick my running backs and things. I was just going above, right past, not even knowing that he was 6,600, and that's a big savings for Kamara, y'all. Like, come on now, he was 7,600. He's talking about a whole $1,000. Like, I'm just gonna say it like I said, he's in Eckler's spot. I already messed up last week and not picking Eckler enough, so I'm just saying toss in some stacks of Kamara, because if he does do what Eckler did, I don't want y'all to be mad about it, because it was their proof in the pudding that we know when he's at home, he usually has those big games at home when he plays somebody really sorry against the run, and he can go for 4 to 6 touchdowns. We've seen it before, so just want to put that out there, because if he goes off, he probably could be the best running back on this slate. Serious. Receiver wise though, for that side, for Dalton throwing the ball, man, it's supposed to be Jalen Johnson, y'all. Like, they really are that bad. Like, 32nd against tight end, they really are that bad against tight ends. If they can get him the ball enough, get back to these crazy 7 targets that he had in week 2, he could have a good game, especially if he gets targeted in the red zone too. Like, $3,000, man, it'd be a great play right there if he could just get a red zone touchdown. As for the other receivers, Chris Olave is definitely in play. If he can just get back to double-digit targets, I can definitely see him having back to 26 fantasy. So, but it's all about the quarterback play, and like I said, they're going to need to establish the run to set up those big plays like that against Seattle. On the other side, Geno, the best matchup for Geno is throwing to Lockett in this game. So Lockett could be in play for a huge game, because the slot cornerback for the Saints is out. So definitely get him 11 targets. We've seen what he did right here. I could see something like that happening if he can just get 11 targets again. Metcalf should have the harder matchup, so I don't know about Metcalf playing as great as he did last week. He had a way easier matchup, but I think it's Lockett's day this time. So for big fantasy and a Kamara type of like sleeper stack there or something, or like I say, with a tight end type play. But we're gonna keep it moving here. Let's see. All right, I finished that whole thing. I just gotta make sure. I thought I didn't finish that whole thing. Did I miss somebody here? No, I said them both. Yeah, I got them all. My bad. Because it's not the running back is not in play on there. So then we go into the next game here. Right. Yeah. And we here with the Miami and the Jets here. Tua's out, Bridgewater's in, Zach Wilson's in, and we have running backs. I kind of feel like this week, you know how I said Rashad Penny last week was about 4,900. I feel like most of it is in play this week as the Rashad Penny play. of this week's slate, y'all, because something like he's been running actually a lot more than what I thought. I didn't know he was getting 15 touches, 11 touches. I didn't know he was outpacing Edmonds in the rush. And the Jets, they kind of give up the run. I feel like 100 yards could happen here for Mostert. If he can get 15 touches, I do feel like they're going to run a little more since it is Bridgewater. Doesn't really take, he plays kind of like a safe quarterback. Doesn't really take a lot of deep shots. But the way they play anyway, they just kind of get their receivers out, the ball out in the open in 5-10 yards. They don't really care. They just want to get their receivers the ball because they're such explosive weapons. But I do think they're going to lean on the run just a little bit more, and they could still just be up big in this game. But I feel like Mostert can break a big one in this game and go for a touchdown. So for 5,000, I really like Mostert, y'all. And then, like I said, for receiver wise, Tyreek Hill is definitely big in play here, y'all. Just the amount of targets that Bridgewater was just feeding him the ball like crazy last week. Definitely in for, I think they giving up about 40 something. Yeah, 40 something fantasy points here off of actual 10 receptions too. So if he can catch it 10 times, you're talking about near 40 points fantasy Tyreek Hill could put up, unless they end up going to Jalen Waddle. But it looks like Tyreek Hill was Bridgewater's guy, so I would definitely look into putting in Tyreek Hill maybe just as a one-off, man, for if you think he's gonna put up the 40 something fantasy. On the other side of this game, Zach Wilson is actually in a good spot, y'all. Because the receivers, they give up a lot for receivers here for Miami side. So if he can get the ball to Garrett Wilson or Corey Davis like he did last week, they could be in play. I mean, even as a run back, or if you want to actually stack it, they're definitely in play for Corey Davis, Garrett Wilson definitely too, because like the slot is where you should be attacking this team, but it's all about seeing if he can find a chemistry like we saw what Flacco did with 14, 8, 11 targets. Like, we don't want to see the 6 targets. So it might be a wait and see approach here, because, we don't know yet for sure. But who is in play big, though, for Zach Wilson is Conklin. Conklin is huge in play here. Like, I mean, there's been really good quarterback tight end stacks since I want to say every week, y'all. Just so y'all know, the first week it was Pat Mahomes and Kelsey, won the whole thing. The second week was back-to-back weeks of the same two. We had Lamar and Andrews again in week 3, and that ended up winning it though. The first time, of course, Tua outshined him with his 2 receivers, but Andrews was still in that lineup. So, and then week 4 was Goff and Hockenson. Every week there's been a quarterback and tight end like where you could have stacked them to, and did whatever you wanted to do with the rest of your lineup building strategy and everything, and you could have won though. Big money, y'all. So I just want to say Tyler Conklin could be that tight end this week. He's been a part of the their offensive scheme heavily leaned on. So in a game where they probably supposed to lose and everything, but they are bad against the tight end, and this is a second year quarterback. I could just see if they do get pressure on him, he's gonna have to dump the ball off a lot to Conklin. He's already big a part of the offensive scheme. Could see a game something like this, but maybe with a touchdown, which could put him near 25 fantasy points for 3,700. That's really good, man. So definitely there. Like I said, if he doesn't get it to those receivers like he should be trying to do too, definitely I think Conklin can be in for a big game. We're going to keep it moving though here. And we got Atlanta and Tampa Bay, man. I noticed the game where everybody, couldn't wait probably for me to talk about. But Mariota is in a bad spot here, y'all. So I just think Brady's going to be able to get the ball so many times because there's no Pitts. And he doesn't really have a lot of receiving options. I know everybody's going to want to do a run back with picking Drake London in this game, which I don't mind it. We do know he could get fed, a million targets. I just don't like when there's no other receiver and option to take away the pressure from a actual good defensive team. Like when it's really hard, like because they just gotta what I want to say, like just like basically like give him catches and stuff like that. Like, just give it to him. And I just feel like they're going to double him the whole game now because Pitts is not there. Like, no Cordell Patterson, man. Like, to me, this is a better run back here is probably the running back. It just, what sucks here to me is the Huntley dude actually outplayed Algier or whatever, who's probably going to start. So he outplayed him and got the touchdown at least, and got the 11 points. His runs looks better. Like 14-yard long right there. Let's see what Algier did real quick. Oh, he had a 42-yard long one right there too. Okay, so they both did pretty decent. He just didn't get the touchdown basically. So, but I do feel like the running back is probably the best option to run back here, just because Drake London is great. I get it, but I haven't really seen them moving him around. Like in this game, he needs to move into the slot. really to get going. If not, as Zacchaeus is actually the better play as a run back, is what I would say. But we do know London will probably get the target, especially he probably be at 12, 14 targets. So I mean, they probably ain't gonna stop him completely. It would just suck though if he gets 14 targets and he still only has 14 points here. Just because I'm like, I don't see why the Bucks wouldn't be so smart and just double him the whole entire game. Like, he don't have nobody else out there. It's like, we double him. What is Mariota gonna do? Just try to run? We're gonna have a spy linebacker on him. So just wanted to mention that. I mean, I just feel like it could be better options than to even try to run something back. But on the other side here, we already know Brady. I mean, I just feel like he's gonna get the ball back so many times, man. And the one thing we know about Brady, he don't stop putting it on you. Like, he does not stop. He doesn't take his foot off the gas. So I mean, it just seems like a big game. They'll be up big. Fournette's definitely in play, big fantasy. Mike Evans, Godwin, big play. Tight ends the only thing. Yeah, they're tight ends for Tampa Bay have been the worst, I think, in the league. That's what they reported last game. So haven't really been doing much. But I think if Kyle Rudolph ends up getting pushed up into this depth chart, which I think he will, he could be in play for a touchdown, could get one of them Gronk type touchdowns in this game. I just see a huge game for Brady in this though, period. You already know. Nothing, like I say, for the run back. I would just go to another game, really. But that's just me. So next game here, we got Tennessee and Washington. I think this is actually supposed to be a pretty good game. And my bad, I wanted to say too, the last game, that Falcons game, was probably what do I want to say? Is it the third, highest, fastest paced game, I think I want to say, on the slate, just so y'all know. And then we got Tennessee right here with Tannehill losing a receiver here in Treylon Burks. So he's in a huge game for a receiver fantasy. If he can, throw a little more, we know Tannehill doesn't throw a lot. I wouldn't really want to stack Tannehill, of course, but I don't mind taking some of his receivers in this game just because of the fact Washington gives up so many freaking fantasy points to receivers. So definitely, I don't mind taking Woods. He can, if he can get 9 targets in this game, since Treylon Burks is out, maybe he picks up what is the targets that Treylon Burks was getting in these games before. Got 3, 2, 6, yeah. So about 3 extra targets might go to Woods now. So could get closer to maybe, back to 9, I guess, man. Like, they just don't throw a lot over here. We know they will run, and definitely Henry is in play for a big game. But I just think the pass, man, they should be passing the ball, because I know one thing for sure, Washington is going to come out trying to pass the ball against them. The only thing I will say, because of the fact he's lost a weapon too, McLaurin should be huge in play, because Tennessee's been giving up, huge fantasy points to the receivers. So McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, both of them in a stack, I feel like, are in play. And run back could be easily Woods then, as a run back. Westbrook, Akini, I think he was getting a few targets before, not last game. I like Phillips too, as well, as could be a shot, could be get some more extra shots in there. If he fills in the Treylon Burks role and gets 6 targets, could be a nice game for him. Here in the running back thing, they actually have him out. Okay, I thought he was gonna play this week, because I was about to say, wow, then he could have had a good game, but I guess not, since he's not playing. Tennessee actually gives up the rush. Big thing about Tennessee this week is every linebacker that starts on their team is out, y'all. Like, every linebacker is out. So, yeah, the run is definitely there. It should have been there last week, because they had the same issue last week, but Jonathan Taylor kind of got banged up and hurt, I guess, so he didn't really play as hard and couldn't really push through it, I guess. But Gibson could be in play for this if Washington can get up, somehow big against the pass. Which, if every linebacker is out, Logan Thomas is in play, y'all, for 3,200s, man. Like, if he could just get in there, he could be taking the targets that Dotson had, and get added 8 targets or something in this game. Big in play for a touchdown in this game to me, because if every linebacker is out, he's the person that's going to line up, with a linebacker more often than not. If not, Curtis Samuel then will line up probably sometimes with a linebacker. So he's big in play. Plus, he comes across the middle of the field. I can see them missing tackles for him. So I already told y'all in my top 5, he barely missed a cut anyway. So Curtis Samuel, McLaurin is still in play too. But yeah, with every linebacker being out, that's going to be a big deal, man. Like, it's man, I just don't know how they don't get this done, this win here for Washington. So definitely I like Wentz. And like I say, a run back, Tannehill's going to have to probably pass the ball in this game. So he's going to have to get the ball to one of these receivers a lot of times, I feel like, to keep up. Because I know Washington's going to come out to just be trying to bomb on them and things like that, or just throw the ball short distances out to Samuel, and you already know what he can do with it. He can take it for 100 something yards, things like that. So definitely I like Curtis Samuel in this game for a big fantasy day. We're going to keep it moving here. We got San Francisco and Carolina. Garoppolo, what is the news with him? What is that? 2 tackles that are out for his team, and then no Armstead on defense. So it kind of sucks because I did like their defense a lot. I wanted the Armstead to be playing though, so that way it could be Nick Bosa and Armstead trying to go after a Baker Mayfield. Felt like that would have been a good game to get a lot of sacks on. It still could happen. It's just I really wish they had both of their best 2 defensive ends in the game. But for this game, no period, what I really like in this game at all, it just kind of is Debo, I think, because like one of their cornerbacks, I believe on what I want to say, Carolina is questionable. So definitely have to say, I like Debo though a lot in this game. I just feel like the way, we already saw what he did last game against the Rams. Caught that one short pass play and then took it, for a crazy amount of yards, 57-yard long, like crazy. He could possibly do something like that in this game. Also with the fact that Baker could just be turning over the ball. He's been fumbling so much in every game, man. The only run back here is McCaffrey to me. I just feel like 49ers defense is so, stout, really good defense. But, McCaffrey is just one of those people that, his floor to me is always going to be like 20, like as you see. So he's always in play, and then, he could end up getting 2 garbage touchdowns or something, even in a loss, and they could be down big. So it could push him all the way to like 30-something fantasy. So I would say like that's why he's in play. But I don't really want to take it, but he is at home too. So expect him to still play hard and everything. Just Baker, I do not want to stack Baker at all. I don't really want to stack Garoppolo either in this game. But like I say, if I had to pick players from this game, it'd be Debo, McCaffrey. I also think Kittle is kind of in play just because of the fact that they did try to throw him a touchdown in the last game. It just, I believe, got patted down or something like that. So I feel like he's in play more than some of these receivers, these other receivers, because something about Ayuk, I don't know. I know what it is. It's the fact that Ayuk is not a huge yards after the catch person compared to Debo. In the way the 49ers play, since it's Garoppolo at quarterback and it's not Lance could have got the ball deep down the field. Garoppolo doesn't. So what they do with Garoppolo is they try to get their receivers out in short distances so Garoppolo can deliver the pass accurately, because otherwise he throws the ball near out of bounds every time. So even if somebody gets open deep down the field, he's throwing it out of bounds. He never throws it inside to let them catch the ball and be gone. So they have to catch the ball at short distance and be able to take it for yards after the catch. It makes me not ever want to pick Garoppolo because of that, because I would need Debo to do that about 2 times what he did last week. And if I'm not really expecting him to do that every game, break 2 57-yard longs, then how many times Garoppolo going to really get there for me? But definitely his receiver, the best receiver to take, because that is their strategy, is to get the ball in short distances and let their receivers make yards after catch plays like that. Debo is always going to be the best play then. So it's my best play there for that game. And like I said, the run back of that would be McCaffrey if you wanted to. But we're going to keep it moving here. We got Philly versus Arizona. What a great game this should be. I'm expecting both of these rushing quarterbacks and really good throwing quarterbacks too as well to go at it in this game. I believe this is what fastest paced game of this game should be. Is this the second? Yeah, this is the second, I believe, on the list, because I said the Falcons game was third, Steelers game was first. This is the second fastest paced game on the list. This should be an explosive game to me. I know Kyler Murray is going to want to play super hard to try to get an upset in this game at home to the undefeated, Eagles. So, but I just been trying to think of like what weapons is he going to use, but I kind of think I might have figured out somebody. If Dortch is going to play back into the slot, since it looks like AJ Green is back, and he's going to line back out wide. AJ Brown's going to line out wide to the left, which means he's probably going to match up with Slay most of the game. AJ Green will line up with Bradbury. It's all about if Rondale Moore or Dortch is playing, because Rondale Moore out-snapped Dortch. So if Rondale Moore ends up playing, then I guess we go with Rondale Moore, because the slot is Avonte Maddox is still out. So their slot corner is where you need to attack them. Like their defense, of course, you need to try to establish the run, but I think that's going to be Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is probably going to rush a lot, I feel like, in this game, because I don't know what's going on with Connor this year. These are poor numbers to me. So I don't know if they're just not leaning to him enough or what. But I can't say to take Connor, y'all. But definitely you need to attack the middle of the field against the Eagles. If you want to compete with them, for them to compete, they're going to have to attack the middle of the field. So if Rondale Moore is out, Greg Dortch is in play for a big fantasy day. If not, Rondale Moore is in, then Rondale Moore out-snapped him a lot. Like I think he was in the game about 61 snaps or something like that compared to Dortch was in about 31 or something, y'all. So he wasn't worth taking at all. So definitely Rondale Moore will be in play. If not, I expect a revenge game for Zach Ertz because of the fact that you need to attack at the middle of the field. This is his old, team and everything. They let him go to pay Dallas, Goddard over him, which was a good decision. But his amount of targets that he's receiving, 11 and 10s, 6 and stuff like that, the Eagles will give up the middle of the field. So it's just that he could have a good game if he can get back to these amount of targets for this game. And I think they're going to need to lean on him heavily like that. For the other side, though, of this game, feels like the better side to me. The only thing I do not like about this side is, man, it's hard to pick Hurts and say, yeah, you should stack him with both his receivers. Because when you go look at his receivers, he's thrown 4 touchdowns so far. His numbers are amazing. We know that. Even in a rainy day game, like I said, 17 points fantasy is still great. But when you look at the receivers, I'm just like, since game 1, why is A.J. Brown going up? He hasn't produced 28 fantasy every game. Why did he go up? He should be, I feel like A.J. Brown should be 6,700. And I get it. It's a really good game and everything. But at the same time, Arizona is not giving up that many fantasy points to receivers. Cooper Kupp had his worst game against Arizona. So, and I know the Cooper Kupp was he's by himself over there. And they have 2 receivers here. So definitely one of these receivers can get going. I think I would rather pay for the less, price one here. Just thinking. I just got a feeling that I seen, A.J. Brown move into the slot. But I actually seen Devonte Smith move into the slot a little more. So I could see him going back to what we saw right here when he moved into the slot a lot in this game against Washington. And I could see them having another good game, like near 20 to 30 fantasy points. So the big fantasy point play here is Devonte Smith to me. If I had to pick a receiver to stack with Hurts, but if not, definitely Dallas Goedert is the best play. Definitely Dallas Goedert should be in for a huge fantasy point day. I feel like it's like a revenge type of game for him too. Like I feel like he wants to show why they kept him over Ertz, so I definitely see also just that, Arizona gives up tight end to a lot of fantasy points there. I feel like if he can I think he's going to get about 8 targets here. So I definitely feel like he's huge in play for a huge fantasy point day. I feel like he can probably cross the 100-yard bonus or he's going to get a touchdown. So one or the other, but definitely if I had to do a double stack, like I said, there's been tight end and quarterback stacks every week. He could be the tight end quarterback stack this week. It's Hurts and Dallas Goedert. So, and we're going to keep it moving to the last game here. So we got Dallas and the Rams here. Rams been giving up mad fantasy points, man, to receivers. Cooper Rush, if he can just throw a lot more, which I want to see this, stay over the 30s, man. Stay over the 30s, we need him to connect more, though, with his receivers. Come on, let's cross the 25 plus completion, and let's get to staying at this 2 touchdowns a game at least. He's going to need to score a lot in this game. The running should not be there for him really because of the fact the Rams have been pretty good against the run. We did see that one break run for Jeff Wilson last week. Yes, that can happen with Pollard or something like that, but it is really hard to run against them. You're going to need to establish the pass. Also, the fact that the cornerbacks are still banged up for the Rams. So should be big in play for I want to say, who is it? CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is huge in play for a big fantasy point game like how he's been doing already. But can we get to 30 this time? Because we need 30 if you're going to go up to 7,000. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely think he needs to get the 3 extra bonus points right here this game. I want to get back to 12 targets, and I hope he catches 10 of them because we can get 10 catches. We can already have 10 points there. We get the 100-yard bonus. We're at 23. We get the touchdown. We're at 30 fantasy points. That's what I see from him in this game. With Kobe Durant being out at the slot cornerback, the David Long is questionable. I don't know if he's going to play. Since he hasn't been playing, they've been just getting lit up. So CeeDee Lamb is huge in play since his targets is the highest on his team for a big fantasy point day. If the targets can go up for Gallup, he could be in play too if David Long is ruled out. So keep in mind on that because I don't mind taking him for $5,000. Just want to see more targets. I think he should have 8. That's what I'm saying. Cooper Rush should be he's in play to be a quarterback this week. If he could just push up the targets to both of those receivers in this game, could see a huge fantasy point for Cooper Rush, man, for 5,400 because he should be in for a game where possible shootout. Like Dallas defense is good and everything, but the only thing I will say is Stafford has a game where his best receiver has the best matchup. Like he's not lining up with Diggs, and he's not lining up with the other cornerback, which I always forget his name, on the other side for the Cowboys. He's lining up with their slot cornerback, which is their worst cornerback out of their whole defense. So Cooper Kupp is in for another 19 targets, 20 targets if need be, 200 yards, and 2 touchdowns or something. That's like, I really feel like that could happen in this game for him. So, and I feel like, I mean, they're gonna have to find ways to score against Dallas. Like they're gonna have to find it like out, because this last 2 games of Cooper Kupp not being able to score and getting all these targets, can't happen. So I definitely think they're gonna be coming out, with everything they got to make sure they score. They're at home too, so I mean, they're gonna try to score and put pressure on Dallas to try to keep up with them with Cooper Rush, a backup quarterback. I know he's won every game, but he's still a backup quarterback. So if they can just put pressure on them and score 24 points on them or something like that, then it's going to bring out a better game for Cooper Rush then too as well, then, because he has good matchups for his receivers too. So it could be a huge game. This is the last fastest paced game, so the 4th fastest paced game on the slate. I definitely feel like, just want to say, since we're done, I think, with all these games, good to see that they got Dalton Schultz back. Of course, Higbee, I mean, with the amount of targets he's getting, he's always going to be in play. If he's going to keep getting these double-digit targets, they still don't have a number 3 or even a number 2 receiver. He is their number 2 receiver. So, I mean, getting 14 targets last game, could be in for another 10 targets at least this game. So, definitely got to say, like, they're going to have to find ways to score. They really are. So, Higbee and Kupp, we already know those are the 2. If they do score 3 touchdowns, like I'm saying they could in this fast-paced game, it could be Higbee and Kupp then, for sure. So definitely Stafford and Cooper Rush is in play. So now I think I'm done with all these games here. Just want to go through the 3 best stacks according to, receiver fantasy points given up. So I got number 1. It's going to be Cooper Rush, y'all. So it should be Cooper Rush, and let's see. So we're going to put Cooper Rush here real quick. Put Cooper Rush in there. And it's really, like I already told y'all, where is he at? 7,000. CeeDee Lamb. You can do a CeeDee Lamb and run back just Kupp. You can do, just really that. Like, run back just Kupp. Didn't mean to push that one. Or you can even toss in if you want to do a double stack here, because there's so many fantasy points that the Rams is giving up right now. And since this is a fast-paced game, it could be multiple opportunities to be able to even toss in Gallup in there, as long as Cooper Rush is going to throw enough, But if you think he's not going to throw enough to get 2 receivers going in this game, then just go ahead and leave it at, CeeDee Lamb or just Gallup in this stack right here, But this is definitely this is supposed to be the highest fantasy points when it comes to receivers this weekend. So just so y'all know. And it'll be weird because, I mean, we have yet to see you needing a late stack at all, really. Like I said, the last 4 weeks we've seen, it's just been like 2 value players needed in your lineup for late, and you won the whole thing. So yeah, people have been winning with just like almost the whole morning only and just a couple of value plays late, or just one, because last week it was just 1 play late. But yeah, but this week, the only thing I will say about this week, we have some big studs at quarterback. And quarterback here, because Stafford is still a good quarterback, but 2 stud quarterbacks here in this game, and receiver studs too, with A.J. Brown, Devonte Smith, even good tight ends on both sides of this game. Also Marquise Brown too. If they move Marquise Brown to the slot, they actually would benefit a lot. They could just line him up with Avonte Maddox, but they just don't do it. So that's the reason why I didn't mention him. But still, I mean, for a shootout, I mean, Marquise Brown could still score and get off somehow, but it's a lot of more studs than we ever seen late, is all I'm trying to say, at receiver. Like, it's not a lot of value plays here, like, it's really not. Like I said, the weeks before, it's been like an obvious value play for the late part to put in, but it just feels like you're going to need one of these stud receivers. If it's just one, or maybe 2, like, it just really feels like you're probably going to need it to win it all. So I just want to mention that. But let's get to the next stack here. The next stack is pretty whack to me, because I don't even think I should even mention it, y'all. I feel like I should just not mention it, but I'm gonna throw it in there because I've seen people win with Tannehill before, but it's Tannehill, y'all. He's in for the biggest fantasy points for his receivers. We do know it's Woods, so let's see. Let me just go to this game so I can make this easier. Let me see, where y'all at? Titans. Where is it? Oh, I already missed it, huh? I passed it already. Yeah, so Tennessee. Yeah, so Woods. And if you want to roll with Phillips, you could do that. Double stack there. Because Washington is literally giving up so many fantasy points that, like, just as much almost as what the Rams be getting up, y'all. So definitely 2 receivers could get off in this game. if Tannehill, decides to throw that much or something like that. But also we know how they play. They kind of do, a lot of runs, play action to like one receiver. So you can just go with Woods, Tannehill, or something like that. Could happen. And run back McLaurin, because what's funny though, I would kind of probably do the next stack and do the run back with Woods instead, because the next stack is actually Wentz. So Wentz is in play. That's the third best stack of the day is Wentz. And I think it's so obvious of who he's throwing the ball to in this game with no dots in there. You just take Samuel and McLaurin. If you want to run back Woods, you can. If you want to run back Henry, you can. You don't have to at all though. You can just leave it at these two and just keep it pushing. But those are the three best stacks of this week, y'all. Like when it comes to the most fantasy points. I actually will just go ahead and give y'all the fourth best stack real quick though. Just in case y'all want to go down a little bit lower here. But it's the Jets with Zach Wilson. So Zach Wilson is in play for a big game. Miami's been giving up pretty good big points to quarterbacks, and at receiver they've been giving up points. So if you want to double stack here with Corey Davis and Garrett Wilson, you can definitely throw that together. Or you could also, since they give up tight end, you could just toss in Garrett Wilson and Conklin, something like that. But those are definitely the best stacks for this week. So I gave y'all 4, man, for my birthday weekend, so y'all can go attack this slate, and win some big money, man. Win it for me, man. Win it for my birthday. I'm going to try to win big for y'all. You already know, in my birthday weekend, hopefully, the birthday wishes come true, and I win this $1 million, man. I'm really about to put together, like, the most fired $1 million lineup. So when we do the review come Monday, like we always do, it should be me at the top. You already know. So, but I hope to see y'all there with me, man, winning some big money. It's your boy Jaystar. Hope y'all enjoyed this full strategy video for week 5, man. Go win that big money. I'm out. Peace.